the coaching process, and I'd request Hemant to talk a little in depth about it.
Yeah. So this is a 5-stage coaching process, what we are going to follow during this entire journey of 4 months. So this is a Bible, right? So this is what we are going to do it time and again. So what exactly is a coaching process? The first stage of coaching process or a coaching relationship means not only coaching process, but when as a coach you start your practice, right? And you want to enter into a relationship with a coachee, you as a coach and your client as a coachee. First, you need to establish a connection with a client. Without connection, it is impossible that client is going to sign agreement with you in the first place. So even for that business development and the client acquisition, connection is must. So this is the prerequisite of your relationship with the coachee. But now I come to the coaching process. Now, when we talk about the coaching process, it is related to your formal sessions between you and client, right? So in a formal session, you first must establish connection with a client. Now, how you will establish connection with a client? Is it possible for you to only establish connection in the few minutes at the start of the session? For example, I will give you the real example. Generally, coaching session, each session is of 60 minutes. For example, generally, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 90 minutes, but in most probably, the session will be for a 60-minute duration. So now, in the 60-minute duration, is it possible for you to connect with the client in the first few minutes? Because the connection is a first step, right? There are so many steps in the coaching process. Means, for example, this 1 hour session duration, you have to follow this entire process in 1 hour. So within 1 hour, there is a connection phase, there is an outcome phase, there is a discovery phase, there is an action phase, and there is a progress phase. So it is very clear that is you are not going to get enormous amount of time in establishing connection. So the connection process has to start from the day one, the day you start interacting with the potential client, not the client. That person will become a client later, but a potential client, you have to start a connection process. So first you keep this particular thing in mind, that the connection is a continuous process, and connection start even before you start coaching sessions. The day you meet or see online the client first time, or interact with the client on WhatsApp or email for the first time, your connection starts. Now, to develop connection means, I think few of you might have attended my master class on neuro-linguistic programming coaching. If you have attended, good. If you have not attended, I think in future you should attend it, because there also I cover this connection aspect related to NLP in detail. Now, for example, you have to establish connection. What MML is going to help you? MML is going to provide you two tests. I'm talking about today itself. At the end of this particular session or at the start of the next session, I am going to give you behavioral intelligence test and the life purpose test. These tests, MML is going to give you lifetime access. You can use it for your, yeah, you can use it for your business, you can use it for your clients. So this is the MML permanent access to you of behavioral intelligence test and the so yeah, wait, so yeah, so it's a permanent access. Now, why I'm saying this? Because if you have to develop connection with the client, number one, you should know behavioral profile of a client. So again, if you have not attended my behavioral intelligence webinar, what we will do, we will post a recording of the behavioral intelligence webinar on this. So wait, so I think it is better that I share. Yeah. So it is necessary for you to understand behavioral profile of a client. Right. Once you understand the behavioral profile of a client, your more than 50% of the connection is going to happen due to one single test, which is a behavioral profile test, which you will understand during this particular uh, webinar recording. So you are going to use variety of the tools and techniques and processes to establish connection, which you are going to understand step by step. So the right now the idea is to not to deep dive into how to establish connection, but to understand the fact that the first step of the coaching process is establishing connection. And there are some test processes, tools and techniques which you are going to utilize in establishing connection with the client even prior to the start of the coaching session and also during the coaching session. Now I come to the coaching session. Now you have already conducted the behavioral intelligence test and life purpose test. You have understood the client values, beliefs. Even before the start of the coaching session, you know the behavioral profile of the pattern. That is how, what kind of question, what type of question I have to ask to the client. Now you know it, right? And you are going to know it, not today, but in a due course of time. Now you enter into a session. For example, this is your first session with a client. Right? And it's a 60-minute duration session. At the start of the session also, you have to establish connection with a client, right? So there has to be some rapport building with the client. There has to be some ice breaking with the client, right? So you means it is not that since you are already friends with each other and you know each other and everything, so now you have to immediately start the session even without ice breaking or the building connection. No, you have to follow this particular process in each and every session. And more than client, it is your preparation. For example, at the start of the session, we recommend that you follow a 3-minute silence, deep breathing, or just feeling your breath for say 3 minutes time without thinking about anything, no coaching, no client, nothing. Just you come to the moment before start of the coaching session. That is very important. So the meditation, deep breathing, focusing on your breathing, right, brings you to the moment for the session before the start of the session, right? Means, for example, if the session is starting at 9 a.m., I will do this starting from the 8:57, for example. It is not a question of it has to be 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute or 5 minutes. It is up to you. But few minutes is what you have to spend time into coming into the moment before you start discussion with the client. So this is the first point. Now, during this particular session, you have to continue establishing the connection. How you will continue to establish connection with a client during the entire session of 1 hour? By listening. How you will listen? You will listen not only what client is saying, but also what client is not saying. Again here, a meta model, NLP meta model is going to help you. You are going to learn all this. Don't worry, I'm just taking some names of the tools and techniques, so you will have them. So right now you don't have to worry about it. So NLP meta model is going to help you in basically understanding what client is not saying and asking questions so that that not saying also will emerge. You will also see the body language, but you will also ask the questions. Why? Because, for example, I am talking to you, right? And 90% plus of the sessions in future are going to be online. Less than 10% of the sessions will be offline. That is, you will physically meet the person. You consider that 90% of the clients you are now going to deal with, you are going to deal online. Now, in a online, it is very difficult for you to get too many body language points. Few points definitely you will get it. Facial expressions is the means one of the most important aspect of the body language, but you will not get that much advantage what you get in an offline session wherein you sense that particular body language and the aura of a client. So you need to basically ask questions to clarify. You should not judge, right? You just should not judge only by few facial expressions or the few body language. For example, client is sitting like this. Immediately, you should not conclude that client has closed his mind, right? Because there can be variety of the things. For example, client is feeling cold or it's a chill in air, and because of that, I'm doing this. So you don't know. So immediately, because you are all senior people and many of you are knowing the body language clues, so don't immediately go for that. Ask questions, right, and listen to the answers of the client to conclude, right? Okay, this is what actually client is feeling. So listening to what client is not saying is a very important part of not only listening, but also establishing connection, because then once you know the situation better, of course, you establish a better connection. Now you have to also listen related to what is the client values and the belief system. It is not only regarding what exact content, exact words, exact situation client is saying, but you should get a feel of what is the mental pattern, what is the behavioral pattern, what is the thought process pattern of the client, what are the values and the belief systems of the client on which he is working. So here the meta programs help you. There is a one thing is called as meta model, another thing is called as a meta program. So you understand what is the meta program of my client. Is he internal oriented, or he or she is external oriented? Is he global oriented or detailed oriented? Like that, you need to understand the pattern of the client. And then, of course, you have to listen with your heart, empathetic listening, right? Because coaching is a very intense conversation. It is not a official kind of conversation. Okay, I have a work and you give me the solution. I'm paying you for some product and service, and you are delivering product and service. No, right? It's an intense conversation. Intense conversation in human beings can be done only with empathy, right? So empathetic listening is a very important aspect of you establishing connection, and we are going to basically dwell into the empathetic listening during this time of the program. And many times, not many times, always, coach has to prepare. Coach will prepare for a session. Okay, means for example, this is my client and all this earlier data, client profile. Okay, this is the overall goal what client is looking for. So you already have that particular preparation in mind. But when you start the session, you have to dance in the moment. You have to be in the moment. It should not happen that your master planning becomes a baggage. No. Why? Because on that particular day, in that particular moment, client has something more important than what was already agreed. So be in the moment. Once you be in the moment, for example, now I am delivering this particular coaching process, and after this particular explanation, definitely few of you will ask me question and I will respond. Now, instead of doing that, right? If I tell you that is no, right now we are not going to discuss on the coaching process. First, we will discuss on this. Why? Because this is my master plan. I have already made a plan. That is okay. First, we will discuss on the coaching process triangle. Then we will discuss on this. But if you cannot go ahead without that particular, say, question answer, then I need to flex myself, right? So why? Because this session is for whom? Definitely it is not for me. Definitely it is not for Sushma. This session is for you, right? So I need to be learner centric. So even if I have a master plan, I have to adapt the delivery as per the needs of the learner. So the same way coach does, coach adapts his master plan with the coach's today's current in the moment need. So this is called as dancing in the moment. Once you dance in the moment, you establish connection. Why? Because now as a coachee, I am feeling that yes, you are listening to me. You are understanding my different problem, right? So this is how the connection gets established. Preparation, your own preparation of meditation, breathing, your you conducting the test and understanding the client's behavioral profile, life purpose. You have the good understanding about the client, which is vital, which is the foundational block of connection. Then you listen to what is said, what is not said, empathetic listening, right? And you dance in the moment, you be in the moment during that particular 60-minute session, right? In spite of you having a master plan. I'm not saying you should deviate from your master plan 100%. Of course, the master plan will remain there, but there will be some divergence or some flexibility in your plan is what I am talking as a dancing in the moment. So this is your first phase, the most vital phase in coaching. Once you establish the connection prior to the session and in the initial duration of the session, ice breaking, then your immediate stage is to finalize the outcome of the session. In this 60-minute, what we are going to discuss and what is the outcome you are expecting. Means as a coach, I am asking this question to the coachee. So I am focusing on the result. I am focusing on the goal of the session. Because the coaching conversation is not a conversation of storytelling or chit-chatting, right? The client is paying you for some concrete goals or the results or the aspirations or the fulfillment of the dream. So each minute counts. So in the initial stage, you need to first establish agreement between you and client on what is that we are going to discuss today in this particular session. When you are signing
Can I
agreement,
interrupt you, sir? Sir,
yes, yeah.
can you please speak a little louder? I'm just not able to hear you at all. All this while, I don't think I've got anything of what you said because it's very, very soft.
Okay, so I really doubt whether this is a problem faced by all because my audio system is good. So you have to check your audio system. So can few others comment on whether you are in a position to hear properly?
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, we are able to hear
Yeah,
you.
we can able to hear clearly.
Good. Yeah, because I do sessions on a daily basis. So I have invested into a very good sound system, right?
Right, sir? Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So please check that. Then agreement and the outcome should be part of your initial discussion. It should not happen that after 30 minutes you are discussing all that, and after 30 minutes, after 50% of the session, you're discussing, okay, fine, what exactly we want to achieve today. No, at the start only, in the initial few minutes itself, in the initial less than 10 minutes, you have to finalize the goal of the session so that your session or the discussion will be directed. Right. So you have to decide on the direction, the goal, and the focus of the session during the initial period of the session, not during the latter stage of the session. And who will finalize this outcome? Not coach, coachee. Why? Because the coaching is client-centric process. It is the client who will decide the goal of the session. It is the role of a coach to enable or to give environment to the client so that he or she will achieve the goal. But it is whose goal? Client's goal. Who will say it? Client will say it. Coach will only ask questions and let client come up with a goal. Let client tell, yes, this is what I want to achieve today. That is very important, right? So the client stating the goal is also important. Means it should not happen that you are asking multiple questions, you are understanding and you are telling client, okay, after this particular discussion, now I am understanding that you want to achieve this goal today. No, let the client say it. Coach can reaffirm it. Coach can reiterate it. But the sentence of the session's goal should come from the client's mouth, a very important psychological aspect. So this is how you finalize the outcome or the agreement, what we are going to achieve today in the initial period of your conversation, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, in some cases, maybe 12, 13 minutes. But I am talking about in less than 20% of the entire session time, you have to finalize the outcome. And not only finalize the outcome, but understand, let client say that is how this outcome is important for the client. Why? Because the outcome means it should not happen that you are talking to, means we are deciding on some trivial goal which is not at all related to your life purpose, long-term objective, or overarching coaching assignment goal. Because when you sign a coaching assignment, there is some overall goal, right? Means, for example, client wants to improve relationships in his life, for example, is the overarching goal for which you have signed agreement. That is okay. We will have, for example, 6 sessions. Within 6 sessions, we are going to say develop your relationships in your life. So this is your agreement. You have signed a contract. That is okay. This is how we will do. We will conduct 6 sessions. Each session will be of the 60 minutes and blah, blah. Everything is there. You will get the agreement format and all that. Don't worry regarding the execution part right now. Right now, the discussion is at a conceptual level. Right. Now, you are starting, for example, second session. Now, at the start of the second session, again, you will finalize the goal. But that goal will have some linkage with a overarching agreement, right? There is already an overarching agreement of a relationship enhancement in client's life. So the session goal has to be somewhat definitely related to that overarching goal. But that overarching goal, you will divide. Means, for example, in this particular session, we will discuss on your professional relationship. In some other session, you will discuss on the personal relationship, for example. So now, how to develop your professional relationship is a goal of this particular session. Now, you will not stop at that. You will ask a question, that is how you achieving this goal is important to you. Now the client will think, okay, so because of this, I will get promotion, right? Because of this, I will get salary increment. Because of this, this will happen, that will happen. Why that is important psychologically? Because now client is linking the goal to the larger picture. And once client links the goal to the larger picture, right, client gets motivation and the inspiration to work on the goal, because it is not a small goal now. It has a connection with a larger picture. So during the outcome phase, you have to connect the goal with a larger picture. This is the outcome phase. This is the phase number 2 of your coaching process, coaching session. Now you go to a discovery phase, which is called as evoking awareness. Now you ask questions to the client, that is what exactly is his present situation. Now the goal is finalized, right? Now, how are your existing relationship? What kind of issues you are facing, or what kind of successes you are getting? So it is not only related to the problem. There will be some success stories, there will be some failure stories. So you will understand that first. And then you will go for a root cause analysis called as RCA, root cause analysis. What is root cause analysis? Root cause analysis is not only to go for the stated problem, but deep dive into the problem so that you go to the root of the problem. Right? So whether this particular relationship problem is because of the language, whether this particular relationship problem is because of your lack of knowledge, right? Whether it is because of your temperament, all that. So, and then you will ask why? Okay, why this is happening to you? Okay, so this is happening to me because I think I'm not in a position to understand what other people mean. I'm not in a position to understand their emotions and the feelings. And I'm only going for the only work or the transaction level basis. And this is the reason why I think that my professional relationships are not flourishing. Okay, then you ask question, okay, why you are not in a position to understand their emotions or feeling? Okay, because I think I lack this particular aspect of thing. Okay, why you are lacking that? So once you go for this why analysis, finally you understand, or you might understand hypothetically that, okay, this particular person lacks self-awareness, or this particular person lacks empathy skills, and then now you will work on empathy skill. Otherwise, what will happen? You will work on a transactional level, that is okay. You will work on a level, okay, so now if there are 10 important connections in your life, so you give me the biodata of all these particular 10 connections, and then we will discuss case by case. Why? Because the stated problem is to develop the relationship with the 10 different professional connections. But when you go to the root cause, you understand that it is not related to them. It is not related to 10 different profiles, but it is related to the empathy development of my client. So this is the advantage of, not advantage, this is the necessity of you going to the root cause analysis of the client's problem or the goal. So this entire thing happens during the discovery phase. And in discovery phase, what you do, for example, generally coaching is taken by adults. Coaching is andragogy, right? Now, for example, the client already has, say, 20 years of experience and he's in his 40s. Do you think that it is very easy for a client to change his behavior, attitude, and mindset? No, it is very difficult. When we are children, we are moldable. When we become adults, we have our own baggage. And it is very difficult for us to basically come out of that baggage. So this is the reality of human behavior, which we have to accept. We should not take a Herculean challenge. Okay, I will transform and change behavior of each and every client. That will be very difficult and that will take a lot of time. So what you have to do, you have to utilize appreciative inquiry, which is our next session. In appreciative inquiry, you will understand what is already working with the client. What are the strengths of my client, and you need to appreciate client for these strengths, and you need to utilize the existing strength, existing resources, what client has to achieve his or her goal. Not behavioral transformation, but what is already there, you utilize that, you exploit that for the benefit of the client. So this is the, say, process during the discovery phase, which is evoking awareness. So in this phase, what you do, client gets the clarity what client was not having at the start of the session. That is the reason he is facing problem, right? So this is the value addition step of a coach. So now if you ask me, in this triangle, where is the maximum time coach has to spend? Means during a session of 60 minutes, 50% of the time at least has to be spent on a discovery phase. Because when you get the clarity, when client awareness increases, automatically solutions will emerge. So this is a most time investment phase in a coaching process called as discovery phase or evoking awareness phase. Now, once the awareness is evoked, what you will do? We are not going to write a PhD thesis that is, okay, now I have this increased awareness, right? This awareness has to be acted on. With this particular awareness, now what is the action step? What is that you will do so that now you will develop better relationships with your professional connections? So there will be some actionable steps. Actionable assignment is what I am talking about in the action phase, right? Of course, there will be options there, there will be alternatives there, and you will go in a priority way, right? So it seems that there are 4 actions, but right now for the next 15 days, please let us work on the 2 actions. Now, who will decide it? Again, the client will decide it. Coach will only create a situation and client has to say, I would like to work on this option. For example, there are 4 options. The coach will not say, okay, I think these 2 say action items are top priority. So for the next 1 week or 15 days, you work on. No. Why? Then it is tailing. let the thing come from the client. You ask client, that is okay, it seems that we have 4 options on hand. Which options you would like to work for in next 15 days time? Client will say, okay, from the 4 days two. Now, why? Client is taking ownership. It is client who is deciding. And because client is deciding, there will be accountability with the client. And once you have this particular actions ready and the assignments ready, co-designing the assignments, not that coach will tell that these are the options. But will the coach be inert? No, it is co-designing the assignment. Why? Because the coach also has some wisdom, right? So coach will utilize that particular wisdom to, along with the client's idea, coach idea, and there will be co-designing of the assignment or the work to be done over the next few days time. And now, whether only this is enough? No. Why? Because we have to monitor the progress. If you do not monitor the progress, means I'm saying we, not I, not coach. We have to monitor the progress. Why? Because the ownership is with the client. Means it is not that you are a police or you are an inspector and you are going to basically check with the client. No, there has to be the ecosystem where client himself and herself can measure the progress, and parallelly you also get that particular information. So there are variety of the, say, small communication platforms which we are going to inform you, wherein you will be in a much better position to monitor the progress, live progress, what is happening on day-to-day basis. Client will update on that particular platform. You will keep that in particular information. But who will update? Who will monitor? Client will update. Client will monitor, and you will be kept informed. So this is a process. This particular process has to be completed in each session. Whether it is 45-minute session, 60-minute session, 90-minute session, you will start with connection. You will finalize the outcomes of the session, right? You will go into the exploratory mode, right? You will go into evoking awareness mode. You will go into the root cause analysis. Then you will identify the actions related to that root cause. You will co-design the assignments. Then you will agree with the client, that is how client is going to monitor these particular actions and how you will automatically get information, right? So this is the coaching process. This is the 5-stage coaching process. This is the heart of the program. If you understand this well, and if you start implementing this thing well from today onwards, you will get maximum benefit from this particular program. And at the end of the 4 months, you certainly will become a very competent coach. Entire thing depends on understanding of this coaching process. Any questions?
Hello, may I ask?
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, you just mentioned about the action plan, and that client has to choose what actions he or she is going to take. So my question is, what if the client is not ready to take up any action plan and asks coach only that you suggest what should I do, you suggest what should I do, and what is the strategy for that?
Yeah. So this can only happen if the discovery phase has not been completed properly, because the actions will emerge from a discovery phase. So it is not that we are thinking about what to do in the action phase. No, in the action phase, we are implementing how to take the action. Means the way to take the action is what this action phase is. You are going to come up with the variety of the options because of your discovery phase. So once you discover the phase, automatically options come on the table. This is the beauty of the process. Yeah.
Okay. So is it possible that any point of time we just, step back to the process? Okay, that at action plan, we realize that client is not ready to take any action, and we realize our mistake that, okay, maybe we have not discovered the thing.
Correct.
We can step back?
Absolutely, yes. 101% yes. You can go back, you can explore more, then you can come back to this stage. You are right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hemant, very good morning. This is
Good morning. Yeah.
Indeed, this theoretical thing pretty much works out by listening. Okay, organizational level, when I'm saying client, he is not a one member. Maybe 5,000 people organization or 10,000 people organization. They are not part of your everybody in discovery phase or even the outcomes phase. The top level people, they will decide, hey, I am understanding. This is what coaching I'm looking for. Probably these are my issues kind of stuff. Can you help me out? That is done. Now we are coming to the actions. It is going to be deal with middle level and low level people at the ground level, field level people. We are going to deal with them to take action to action and improving small progress means, right? So in that case, they will say, boss, we are okay by saying we are saying, yeah, we are going to change kind of stuff, but in actions it won't be that way in reality.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
where they will put, I have your budget and this is your baby now, you deal it. That is what they will try to push it in industry.
So Venkat, it's
Yeah.
a good theoretical question, but it's a theoretical question, not practical. Because
Okay.
when you are going to start the coaching process, after what you are going to start the coaching process? After what?
No, actions only, right? Once the
Wait. Step by step. I'm
Okay.
saying this is a coaching process, right?
Right.
Coaching process has 5 stages, right?
Right.
From the connection to the progress. You are clear on that?
Right.
When you are going to start the coaching process is my question.
After actions.
Of course, Mona, I am asking you, Venkat, when you are going to start the coaching process. Now, which is the first step of the coaching process?
So whatever we are agreed with, probably outcomes level, we are agreeing with the top level people. Okay, these are all my outcomes.
No. Don't go for the top level, bottom level. We are not at there.
Okay.
We have not yet decided whether it is organizational level coaching, executive coaching, business coaching, relationship coaching, group coaching. No. Right now we are talking about a coaching process, how a coaching session happens. And when you will start the coaching session is first you will have an agreement with the coachee on what this particular coaching is going to be. So this question doesn't arise in the coaching. That is the reason I said this is a theoretical question. Why? Because this question will arise when you are pitching for a business of a coach and you are discussing with the organization. So this question is related to the acquisition of the client. This question is related to the discovery session. This question is related to you promoting your coaching services to the organization. And there is a top management, middle management and all that. So it's a separate ball game altogether. Right now, we are not discussing on that ball game. That is how to convince organization for coaching and all that. That is not the subject matter discussion right now. What is the subject matter discussion right now? What is the coaching process? Consider that you already have a business. You already have signed agreement with the coachee, whether for executive coaching or business coaching, relationship, any kind of coaching. One-to-one coaching, not one-to-group coaching. Right now, this coaching process, I have explained you on one-to-one coaching. One-to-one coaching can be done for a variety of the goals. They can be career goals, business goals, relationships goals. So this is one-to-one coaching. Now, the question itself is logically not right. Why? Because right now, what is the assumption? Assumption here is that you already have an agreement. You have already decided to work together. So all these questions are getting answered during that particular pre-coaching phase. Within the pre-coaching, your question is applicable to the pre-coaching. That is whether the client will sign agreement with me or not, or who will sign agreement with me, right? That we are definitely going to discuss, but that is not the topic now. What is the topic now? You have already decided on a coaching relationship. Now you are starting a coaching session. In a coaching session, what is the process you will adopt? Venkat, is this making sense to you? Are you clear on the objective of this particular discussion?
Somewhat, Hemant, to be honest,
Yeah.
the agreement, if you 5,000 people organization, if you are talking about, it is not possible for me, have it one-to-one agreement at each and every level.
No,
Am I correct?
Venkat, Baba Venkat, step by step, the coaching is done at one-to-one level and one-to-group level.
Right.
99% of the coaching in the entire world right now is being done one-to-one level. 99% of the coaching in the world is being one-to-one level. 1% of the coaching in the world is being at a team or the group level, right? Of course, that 1% in future can say become 10%, but still 90% of the coaching is one-to-one. Why? Because coaching is a very intense conversation between the two individuals. It is not a training. In a training, it is one-to-many. In a coaching, it is one-to-one. This is the reason why the coaches are paid very high, because in a one-to-many, your per person cost goes down drastically. But in a coaching, your per person cost is few lakh rupees. This is the reason why coaches earn more. So right now, first, you remove this particular baggage in your mind that coaching means I have to coach organization, and there is a organization of the 5,000 people and there are 100 people to which coach. Okay, we will come to that. I'm not saying your question is invalid. Your question is valid, right? If you want to do organizational level coaching, organizational development coaching, executive coaching, group coaching, you have to coach many people within the organization, your thought process is not wrong. But right now, we are not up to that stage right now. We are taking baby steps. What is our baby step? We are saying, consider that you already have a coaching agreement with any person, whether it is a single person from a corporate, single person as a businessman, or single family man. You have a 60-minute session. How you will conduct that particular session? What is the process you will adopt in the topic now, right?
Right.
Your question will be taken at an appropriate point in time when we are discussing organizational level coaching, when we are discussing client acquisition, when we are discussing on, okay, how you will put forth your proposal to the company. Now in the company, how you will conduct discovery workshop. Why? Because it is not one-to-one. You need to understand multiple stakeholders within the organization. You need to understand what they want, organization goals, all that. That is not the topic right now, Venkat.
Okay,
So,
got you.
so I am again asking you a question.
Yeah, please.
Have you understood, if you are conducting a session, you already have an agreement, business development is done, clarity is done, right? The client has a goal in the mind and you are conducting a session. And for example, that session is of 60 minutes. Within that 60 minutes, what process you have to adopt? Are you clear within that 60 minutes?
Yeah, of course, like whatever we are discovered based on that thing, we are going to take it ahead with the one-to-one conversation.
One-to-one conversation, first connection, then finalizing outcomes, then evoking awareness, then action plan, and then monitoring progress, right?
Right.
Yeah. So this is the process in a coaching session.
Okay.
Okay.
Got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Hi, Seema here.
Yes.
So you've already answered one of my questions, which is group coaching would be discussed later on.
Agree.
Okay. The second question is there a possibility that when you connect and then you ask questions during the discovery phase, the goal itself changes?
You are absolutely on the spot. Answer is yes.
Okay.
In majority of the cases, in a discovery session, goal gets modified, some change, improvise because of the enhanced awareness of the client. You are right.
Okay. Okay. The second question is you mentioned that it's important to have your own time so that you can be present in the moment. So whether you feel your breath, you take deep breath or meditate. Now, a lot of time what happens is and I'm talking about face-to-face thing. You get into a meeting where the client is already there, he's sitting. So how important is that initial 3 minutes, and how do we do that when the client is already, you're walking into the client?
Yes, so there are a variety of the things. See, means it should not be that you have to go in a secluded phase for the 3 minutes, right? You have to, can you not watch breath for 1 minute while approaching the client? There are a variety of the ways, right? So don't worry regarding that. You worry regarding the objective. What is the objective? Before I start discussion with the client, I should calm my mind. I should be present in the moment, right? For example, right, before COVID, we used to take offline classes for our postgraduate program. After COVID, we do not have any other option but to conduct our postgraduate Mumbai University campus program online, right? So we have adapted to the changes. Like that, when you will face difficulties in your life, when you are in a hurry, client is already there, client is calling you, oh, you are late, I'm already there. you will find your solutions. Don't worry. Right now, keep in the mind, what is the objective? Objective is, before I start the discussion, right, am I calm enough so that I will get engrossed in the session, or am I still into the traffic related issues and some kind of problem? So calming your mind can be 1 minute exercise, can be 3 minute exercise, can be meditation, can be watching breath, can be any other technique, what is personally suitable to you, Seema. Clear?
Okay, great. No, so I was wondering if I'm sitting there watching my breath for 3 minutes, what is the client doing? Because he used to be wondering that at times there are silence, but if there's no meaning to the silence, it becomes a little uncomfortable.
So from the Seema's question, let me give one input to the entire team here. Always remember, it is not the tool or technique. It is not the 3 minute or 10 minute. It is the objective what is important. Understand the objective. Means when I say you something, you have to ask me why. Sir, why 3 minutes? Sir, why meditation? Once you understand the why behind what I'm saying, then you will have flexibility in your hand in implementing it in your way, because you know why. But if you do not know why, and if you only remember that Hemant has said that the 3 minute breathing exercise, no, then you will face difficulty in the life, like Seema has said, that is, I don't have 3 minutes. What I will do? So you ask question, okay, sir, you have said 3 minute silence. What is the objective of that? Okay, now I got the objective. Objective is calming my mind. Objective is to come to the presence. Now, depending upon the situation, you will find your own ways to come to the moment, to come to the presence, to calm your mind. That is the objective behind the exercise. Always remember, tool and technique are at second level. What is the first level? Why you are doing it? What is the objective in you going to implement XYZ tool or technique? Clear, Seema?
Yes, yes. So it's all about how, whatever makes you be in the present, in the
Correct.
moment, do that and calming your mind.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. And group and individual coaching will be covered later, right?
Yes. Means,
Okay. Thank you.
too much later, right? Because
Sure.
there is too much time we are having. This is a 146 years for 46 hours program. Okay, don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Mridu.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I'm just interrupting because this is a very related question to what Seema asked. It's just come up in my mind. Can I just ask you, please, sir?
No, of course. Means when I'm taking your name, means you have to ask question. There is no formality required to ask permission. Just shoot
No,
the question.
Sir, right. So this is when the objective is to calm your mind, can we involve even our clients? Can we involve the client also to calm his or her mind?
Yes.
Would that be that would be a nice thing? Right, sir.
100% nice thing. Why? Because coaching is a partnership process. Means you are calm, but the client is not calm. So as a partnership, your efficiency and the effectiveness will go down. So if you can make a standard practice, SOP, standard operating process, that at the start of the session, we both will keep 3 minutes silence. We will watch our breath. Afterwards, we will start a session. Fantastic point, Mridu. Thank you. Thank you for asking this question.
Sir, this is Nama Dalal.
Oh, okay. Nama. Thank you. Thank you, Nama. Fantastic point. Yes. Mridu?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
So, sir, while we understand the importance of asking questions, even if we have built the connection, the coachee might get annoyed at a certain point of time and say that you are asking me so many questions, but it should be you who should decide all of this for me. So how do we actually clarify it without hurting their ego?
Right. So the number one, remove from your mind that coach's job is to ask question. First, you remove this myth from the mind. Do you know why? Because if you ask only questions, definitely the other party, whether it is coachee or personal relationship or professional relationship, will not like it. It's a common sense, right? Coach's job is not to ask questions. I'm repeating purposefully. Listen to this statement again. Coach's job is to not ask questions only. Coach's job is to evoke awareness. For example, I am Kochi. I have approached Mridu. Before coming, I was not having clarity of the problem or the goal. And with the interaction with the Mridu, with the conversation with Mridu, with the dialogue with Mridu, if I get clarity, if my awareness gets enhanced and I see light at the end of the tunnel, I will be grateful to the Mridu. But if Mridu is only asking questions, I am not getting any clarity, I am not seeing light at the end of the tunnel, I will of course dislike Mridu, because Mridu is wasting my time by only asking question. So asking question is not the goal. It is not the objective. What is the objective? Evoking awareness, generating clarity for the client. Let client see light at the end of the tunnel or within the tunnel, right? That is the objective, and that is the process you are going to adopt. So this is not the session only on a coaching. This is not the only session on a coaching process. Today is a session on introduction to the coaching process, wherein we are understanding the coaching process holistically. There will be 5 separate sessions on coaching process, right? We will start with the preparation phase, then we will start with the agreement, then discovery phase, then action phase, then progress phase. So there will be 5 independent sessions on the coaching process, wherein you will understand what you have to do in a discovery phase, what kind of powerful questions and with which objective you have to ask, so that what problem this Mridu has stated, that the client should not get perturbed. Why? Because people will get perturbed with you if you do not add value. If you add value, they will thank you. Correct, Mridu?
Yes, yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Nikunj. Now I am taking the
Yeah,
last and then afterwards we are moving ahead. Yeah. Yes, Nikunj.
yeah. Sir, you said we need to understand clients' values and belief system.
Yeah.
So values and beliefs both are same, right? They are not
No,
the
no.
different things.
Yeah, values and beliefs are different. And don't worry, we are going to have a session on values and beliefs separately. Then Nikunj.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
there are other
Yeah.
few questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, you said it is very, very important to build the connection before even we start the process. How do we build the credibility that how in that short time that the
Right.
coachee feels that yes, he is the
Yeah.
right coach for me. So
Yeah. So
is it
Nikunj,
possible
Shravan.
to build that?
Yeah. Shravan. Please focus on Shravan. What is Shravan? Yesterday I
Okay.
explained. Listen.
Yeah, Shravan basically active and intent listening.
Correct. So if you have
Yeah.
actively listened to me, what I told, connection is not only limited to the session. Connection start from your first direct or indirect connection with your client. It starts much before your session. I am not asking you to develop connection with the client only within the session. No. Before that, you would have conducted variety of the tests. You already have the behavioral profile of the client. You know the client, right? You even know the values and the belief systems of the client even before you starting the session. Within the session, you are only bringing the client to the moment, right? Because you know the client, but today client is in a bad mood, good mood, perturbed mood, agitated mood, right? So in that particular process, you have to establish connection, reconnection. So actually, this point has to be reconnection in a coaching process. It is not connection. Connection is a process which you have already started, Nikunj, and you are going to understand how to establish proper connection with the client anyway during this particular program. Right
And
now,
sir, we will be
right now only you understand that what is the first stage. The first stage is
to create that
establishing.
connection.
Yes, at the start of the session. Yes. Next question, Nikunj.
Sir, I hope we will be covering the part like you said, coach needs to have conversational intelligence because that is what is
Yes.
important to build connection, outcome, everything.
Agree.
So that is what we'll cover in detail, right? Sir, few questions which I believe we'll be covering later, like you said, we understand that there are some fears of the client. So how do we remove the fears of the client?
No, wait.
Or
Nikunj,
do we talk about that? Yeah.
Nikunj. Not only for Nikunj, for everybody present here. I have a request to you for your own benefit. Why? Because how much time we are going to spend with you? 146 hours.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when I am telling you the coaching process, you only focus on coaching process and ask questions me on coaching process. Never have a doubt that is whether the values will be covered. Of course, everything will be covered because it's a 146 hours program. Don't worry regarding that. Focus your attention. Why? Because you do not focus your attention on now. And if you are either in past or in present, you will miss the bus now. So what is the now? Now is the coaching process in 60 minutes of the session. You have to ask me question on the today's topic, right? Do not think that is okay whether this will be covered, that will be covered. Let me give you one generic example or the generic answer to you. Whatever you are thinking that whether it will be covered or not, my answer is yes, it will be covered. So now I am answering all your doubts. If you have a doubt that whether Master My Life is going to cover this, I am giving you by default answer. Answer is yes, we are going to cover it. Right now, you focus on what is being taught to you. Clear, Nikunj?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is applicable to everyone. Yes. Yes, Asit.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, I have encountered sometimes issues where people are not very well conversant with the language you are proficient with. That suppose English is the common language. So will you, suppose somebody, Gujarati, big businessman, how would you establish a connection after you have the initial interaction? That means language can be a barrier. That's the question from my side.
Okay, so this is a fantastic question, and I will answer this question and then we will move ahead. Why? Because right now we are focusing on coaching process. Right now we are not focusing on how to build connection. How to build connection is a separate session. Within the coaching process, connection is the first phase. If you understand that, I think the purpose of the session is served. But since you have asked this question,
you can answer later on. You can answer later on.
Yeah, I will answer shortly. Language holds less than 10% importance in establishing connection. This is my answer.
Okay.
Right. So more than 90%
no, that's fine.
In the processes you are going to have to build connection with any human being, irrespective of language differences. Clear, Asit?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So now let Sushma share her screen. Yeah. Okay. Sushma, you can please continue.
So now let's look at the coaching.
What is happening, Sushma? Hello?
So now let's look at the coaching process. So as we mentioned before, the first thing is you've got to know what the client wants, where they want to go, where they want to be. This, we call it the desired state. Then you get clear about where they are. We call that the present state. And then you work them through a process so that they can move from where they are to where they want to be or where they want to go. That's a simple coaching process. Now, there are 4 steps to fulfilling this process. So when a client comes to you, the first thing is to get clear about the goal or the result they want. The next step is to get clear about where they are. What's their current reality, all right? So like we mentioned, there's the current reality, there's the goal. So there's the gap now. So what do we do next? What is this process, coaching process, what does it involve? So the way that we work with the client is then to come up with different options or different possibilities. And this is more a brainstorming session. So you come up with different possibilities as to what they can do to move from where they are to where they want to go. And this is the time to be creative. Most clients would come to a coach because they find it difficult to facilitate or just go through that process by themselves. But I've seen so many times, sometimes when I'm feeling stuck, and I'll go and approach either Monica, I'll go talk to a friend, and questions that they ask me, which I'd found difficult to ask myself, or something they point towards will suddenly, you start getting different ideas. So when we're working with a client, the third step is to help them come up with different options. And we don't give them those options. That's a consultant's job. As a coach, we elicit and evoke those responses and ways of thinking from them. Now, once they've come up with these different possibilities, now are they going to do all of them? They're not. Then what's the next step? Then the next step is to really get specific and look at, okay, from this week to the next week, what are they supposed to do? So they lock in certain actions between now and the next session. And sometimes it's maybe just certain actions. If it's a 1 or 2 session thing, just some specific things that they need to do so that they can move from where they are to where they want to be. Okay. So very simple 4-step process. Get clear about the goal, get clear about where you are, come up with different options, and just lock it in. What will one do between now and the next session?
There are some pivot levers. So what is a pivot lever? Pivot lever means it's a checklist for you. It's a one biggest objective you have for each and every stage. Why? Because there are so many activities in each stage, right? Connection activities, outcome activities, discovery stage activities, action phase activities, progress phase activities. So now in a transformative coaching, so the transformative coaching, you can say, is a higher level objective wherein you are going beyond the goal what client is approaching you for, right? So you are thinking about transforming the client when the client will be in the coaching sessions with you. So each stage has one important pivot lever. For example, in a connection phase, the pivot lever, see, don't go by the technicalities of the word. Pivot lever is nothing but your focus area in that particular stage. In that particular stage of connection, your focus area is called as behavioral flags. That is how you will adapt your behavior to the client's behavioral profile, right? Information will be given to you on this aspect. Right now, just remember that is behavioral flags. You attuning with the client's energy, you attuning with the client's behavioral profile is a focus area in the connection phase, including using appreciative inquiry to enhance connection, which is our next session. So stage number 1, behavioral flags, is a checkpoint, focus area. In stage number 2, which is the agreement phase, you have to always focus on the objective, goal, and agreement of the session. Client will go here and there. For example, like few minutes back, learners were obviously asking questions. Of course, it's a human mind. You will ask, okay, whether this is going to be covered, that is going to be covered, right? So many questions, or the client will go in this story, that story. So what is your job as a coach, duty as a coach? To refocus client on the session objective, on a session goal. So the pivot lever, the objective of the phase number 2 agreement is focus. Always focus on the session goal. Client will go here and there, bring client back to the goal, bring client back to the goal. So the focus. Okay, so this is the objective of the second phase. What is the objective of the third phase? Apart from the root cause analysis, of course, which is very important, and without which you cannot go for the action phase, because the actions are going to be taken on the root cause. Meaning making. It is very important. Client will say so many things. It is in majority of the cases, client will not come with a very structured thought process. Client will have a variety of the ideas in mind. You need to generate meaning, right? Whatever is being said means it is like a hounds. Hounds, right, will drink only milk and not the water. Like that, coach will always look for the essence, amrut, exhibit, right? So the coach will only look at the amrit manthan, right? In Samudra Manthan, the coach, so all the discovery phases, Samudra Manthan. In that Samudra Manthan, where is your Amrit? Right? So make the meaning. So always look for the meaning in the phase number 3 along with the root cause analysis. In phase number 4, which is the action phase, what is the role of a coach? What is the value addition of a coach? What is the focus area of the coach? Is to catalyze. That is how you can support coachee in taking action. What is the support mechanism you can create so that you will play a role of catalyst? What is the catalyst? In a chemical reaction, catalysts do not mix with the other chemical agents, but because the catalyst is present, the chemical reaction becomes fast. So you are not taking action, but you are creating environment where speedy action can be taken, right? That is your role in an action phase. That is your focus area. That is your goal. That is your objective in an action phase. What is the coach's objective and the focus area in the progress phase? Mobilize. So whether that action is getting taken on a continuous basis and whether that monitoring is happening is called as mobilize. So remember this 5 pivot levers, right? Behavioral flex, focus, meaning making, catalyze, and mobilize. If you will be in a position to do it, not today, not now, in the 4 months period, you will become one of the great coaches, transformative coaches, because the transformative coaching is actually the goal of the coaching. The goal of the coaching is not only to solve problem or achieve goal for the coachee. Transform the coachee so that coachee will be in a position to solve similar problems or achieve similar goals in future, and that is only possible through the transformative. And these pivot levers will aid you in becoming a transformative coach.